You have to ask disqualifying questions on your date, such as, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very, very unlikely and 10 being very, very likely, if I was to Google your name, would I be able to see your tits? Gentlemen, I need your help. Or I should say rather, Umpire Global needs your help. He is inquiring, and I don't know why he's inquiring. Is a girl having an OnlyFans a turn-off for anybody else? Right, let's dissect this. I have been on a good 4 amazing dates with this young woman. She slept over once. Nothing happened more than cuddling. And no, I did not expect any more or anything else. Maybe your opinion would have been different if you had known her occupation before. I digress. I recently found out she has an OnlyFans account and posts regularly. When finding this out, I kind of lost interest. Is this something silly to stop seeing her over? How did we get to a point where other men are genuinely reaching out on Reddit to rationalize if their disgust reflex is relevant? That these feelings and thoughts of shame and repulsion are justified. Do you understand what I mean here? It is remarkable to me, maybe it's just me, that this is even a question to ponder if there's an element of a red flag in. No, no, it's not up for debate. It's a non-negotiable. The same way it's a non-negotiable if you find out she's killed 2 out of 3 of her last boyfriends. Or if she keeps her shit in jars and labels them by consistency and weight. It's a no-go. You're out. I'm out. You know why this happens? This happens when weak men say yes when they should have said no. When men are too tolerant of disgusting behavior. By the way, I'm still reeling that this has taken her 4 dates to actually disclose. And to be honest, actually, by this here, it doesn't even look like she's the one who's disclosed this information. He's found out. I think he's found out. I recently found out. Yeah, he's found out. So she hasn't even told him. Right, let's persevere, gentlemen. I don't want to end up in a relationship with her while anyone can see her fully exposed online. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's more than reasonable. Reason being is that it looks like she's in 1,000 other relationships with other men online. She isn't ever going to belong to you or anyone else. She's going to belong to her harem of simps. But this is the whole point of monogamy. In all realism here, if we're going to be logical, if we're going to be rational, this is the purpose and the value and the appeal of monogamy. Let me just explain it very, very simplistically in case you have a kind of simp reflex. 2 people, they come together and they talk to each other and they decide that they are going to share their lives exclusively with one another and no one else. It's the key point here. The exclusivity of intimacy is a core pillar, a foundational pillar in the value of the relationship. In fact, many people would argue it's the only pillar that matters in a monogamous relationship. And that's generally the reason why people get pissed off if you cheat. So yeah, it's important. Once you knock down that pillar, you don't have a relationship. You have polyamory. You're not in a relationship anymore. You're in a relationship with a gangbang. That's what polyamory is. You're in a relationship with a gangbang. It doesn't mean shit because anybody can roll into it. You have reduced the sanctity of a human being to solely be a tool for your pleasure. Can you believe people are celebrating this kind of shit? Let's keep going. I have my opinion about the whole OnlyFans thing. And to me, it's more of a respect factor to yourself. And if you have a partner, them as well. Yes, of course, respect. I mean, that's another very easy concept to understand, hopefully. To respect something is to have value for it. the valuation of something can be attributed to its availability and its scarcity, meaning the rarer the thing, the higher quality and value it typically is. But if the whole wide world can see your internal organs for the price of a Netflix subscription, then you can make a very, very compelling case then that said thing is not valuable, it is common. And what of the relationship? What about you as a man, as a partner? You share your partner's reputation, and that partner is beginning to stain your soul, stain your name, stain your whole being. It's psychic. This guy, hopefully he's only spent 4 dates with this individual, but he's going to be psychologically damaged. Maybe people will think I'm over exaggerating here, but I'm going to give you a point in just a mo. I brought the issue up about it. She said if we were ever going to get into a relationship, it would go away. But for the time being, she's going to continue doing it. She said she doesn't do it for the money. Where's my fucking cap? Right, I think that is a little bit better there. What the fuck does she mean she doesn't do it for the money? What the fuck does she do it for? She does it for the company car, for the paid holiday, for the positive work environment. I've never seen such a bigger cap in all my life. Of course she does it for the money and the clout, which is probably a close second. Look, gentlemen, I really want to believe that no woman chooses to show her axe wound off to the world because they feel empowered about it and generally enjoy it. But then again, this is 2023 we are living in now. This is what sexual liberation is, gentlemen. I mean, we genuinely live in a time now, and this goes back to the psychological damage that I referenced just earlier, where if you meet a beautiful woman at a cafe, you exchange names, you exchange numbers, you genuinely have to look her up on Instagram, go on her link tree and make sure there's not an OnlyFans there before you message her. That is a reality now. You have to ask disqualifying questions on your date, such as, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very, very unlikely and 10 being very, very likely, if I was to Google your name, would I be able to see your tits? This is the world we live in. Right, let's keep going. Maybe I'm the one wrong here, but I feel uncomfortable. This is the cognitive dissonance. Again, why should we have to justify this feeling of disgust? I feel uncomfortable if my girlfriend was being seen by anyone and dirty talking with anyone. Yeah, a normal person would, dude. This individual doesn't value herself, doesn't value her future partner, doesn't value her kids, doesn't value her family, doesn't value her reputation, doesn't value God. She traded it in for a quick buck and some attention. But let's see what the comments are kind of saying here. I wonder how much the cognitive dissonance has permeated the masses here. So you can have whatever boundaries you want, so don't worry about what other people think. I agree. If you aren't a fan of her having an OnlyFans, it makes sense, or it makes you lose interest due to whatever beliefs you have. That is up to you alone, and that's your right. You don't ever need a good reason to lose interest or not want to date someone. If this bugs you enough, it's a deal breaker. That's all you need. Again, I feel sad that we've come to the point where we need to reinforce these ideas of having simple standards. You've brought up your feelings. She countered it with hers. She says she's willing to stop. She won't. You have to be the one who decides whether or not that's enough for you. It's okay to feel that way. There are a lot of people who feel like you do. She's not a good match for you. It's interesting how different the subs reactions are to body count and something like OnlyFans. I think it's because OnlyFans is something that could be permanent and affects other part of someone's life. Yep, that makes sense to me. Isn't that somewhat true about having had lots of partners though too? True. Well, we don't need to go into the what would you say, the bonding consequences of that, and the diseases that you might get along the way, and the attachment issues, and your addiction to sex, and there's a couple of reasons here. There's a couple of good justifications there. Gentlemen, please don't ever feel Like, this is behavior you need to tolerate. We're at the time now where weak men have made times hard, and now it's time for strong men to make good times. And we do that by not being tolerant of disgusting behavior. These are not theories, these are facts. Speak soon.